Hello and welcome to the Album Man. I'm going to try and start getting the ball rolling with videos for 2014 because so far I haven't been that consistent. And yes, I know Weekly Rock News is 1 or 2 days later depending on when the hell this gets uploaded, especially my super slow internet speeds. But yeah, I've just been quite busy. I had a couple of mock exams, things like that. But definitely want to get this Weekly Rock News done before we can get into some reviews and some other stuff that I have planned for this week and next. So, coming up on this episode of Weekly Rock News, we have, we're going to talk about some bands that are currently writing new albums. We're going to be talking about Caravan and some of the various, from the sad things to the interesting. And yeah, there's a bit to talk about Caravan, and then also we are going to be talking a bit about Sonisphere and their lineup, and that's about it. There isn't anything major these past week or two, so yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today. Hello and welcome to the... And today we are... Go die, bitch. Okay, so firstly let's talk about some bands that are working on new albums at the moment. Always interesting to, look at some of this. So, Queens of the Stone Age announced that they are going to be planning to record their 7th studio album later this year, which is quite interesting because there's a big gap between Era Vulgaris and Like Clockwork. And yeah, I mean, I didn't like Queens of the Stone Age before Like Clockwork, but I've been listening to that album so much recently. It'd probably go up in my list if I were to do it now. R.I.P Missing is just becoming one of my favourite songs, just flat out. Like, possibly might break into my top 50 songs of all time. I listen to that song about twice a day. Honestly, I'm kind of addicted to it at the moment. I'm really digging Like Clockwork so much. So if they continue in that same vein, I'm so stoked for their next album. A few bands that are working on new albums. We have Anthrax, which is good. Of course, they recruited their new guitarist John Donay to replace Rob Caggiano, who of course went to join Volbeat, and that was very good. And yeah, they're making their follow-up to 2011's Worship Music. So that's pretty cool. They're planning to start recording by April, and weirdly, I still haven't listened to Worship Music. Probably something I would obviously listen to it before the album came out. Hopefully it'll come maybe latter half of this year, probably, I'd say maybe November, if they're going to April, record it till maybe like June, get it mixed, July, August, yeah, maybe around November, I'd expect it, or early 2015, but hopefully this year. Yeah, still got to listen to Worship Music. Don't know why I've never got round to that record, but certainly haven't picked it up. Always, I don't know, keeps its price a bit, but yeah, definitely should. Shinedown are going to be recorded. I know a lot of people, you won't like Shinedown, commercial rock, way too poppy, all that. I like Shinedown, I honestly do. I think they're a good band. It's quite interesting, they were trying to release a covers EP, which I wasn't interested in. Yeah, covers EP, yeah. But, quite funny, Bon Jovi blocked their acoustic covers EP. I can't remember what song it was, clearly a Bon Jovi song, but yeah, they didn't want Shinedown recording it. It's like, just seems a bit petty. I always think it's so petty when artists won't let other artists cover their songs. It's not really going to damage the original songs, and I doubt Bon Jovi are really going to feel the financial damage from Shinedown covering one of their songs, particularly as, well, Bon Jovi, honestly, they deserve to lose money with their current output, oh dear God. The most interesting, though, that is being worked on has to be, I've talked a bit about this before, but the Dio offshoot band Last in Line. Now, these consist of, Vivian Campbell, Vinnie Appice, Claude Schnell, and Jimmy Bain, along with the vocalist Andy Freeman to replace Dio, though I don't like to use the word replace. Now, I've not had any interest. These bands, they've been touring for about a year or so. They came to the UK. I had no interest in seeing them live because, well, Dio without Dio doesn't really appeal to me. I've never hugely rated Vivian Campbell, and yeah, I love Vinny Appice as a drummer, but you know, do I really want to see Dio songs without Dio? Dio, Holy Diver without Dio, Rainbow in the Dark without Dio? I mean, just no, I don't. That sounds like just bloody shit. But apparently they are well, planning to record an album of new material, which is kind of interesting. And yeah, I'm not sure they should use the name Last in Line for it if they're going to. I think they should try and get away from the Dio tag and just form their own sort of, you know, Dio supergroup type thing. I think that would work better. A bit like what Thin Lizzy did with Black Star Riders. I felt that change of identity, it worked to the album's benefit and separated it from you know, of course, Thin Lizzy and Phil Lynnett's legacy. And I think they should separate themselves from Dio's legacy. Of course, you know, because, well, they were in Dio, that they should play songs live, but I think they should be their own band who, you know, also, you know, respect their heritage, but don't just live in the past. I think moving forward is definitely a better direction. And I will be reviewing this album when it comes out, you know, who knows when the hell it will be, but it certainly does interest me to an extent. Okay, let's talk a little bit about some of the bands that have been announced for Sonisphere, which honestly is looking to be the best UK open air festival for 2014. I definitely say so. Of course, headlining, there's The Prodigy on the Friday. Yeah, dance rock bands are just, I hate them. They are absolutely crap, in my opinion, of course, you know. Then Iron Maiden on the Saturday, hell yeah. But particularly for, well, me personally, the Sunday Metallica by request. You can see what the set list is and what's been voted to be, and it's looking pretty damn good to me. I mean, you know, there's no like obscure songs that have been you know, voted in, but it's basically just a best of, but still, it's best of Metallica. I'd certainly like to try and get a ticket for the Sunday of this. I certainly couldn't go for the whole 3 days, fortunately, but to get a ticket for the Sunday would be pretty cool. Metallica, and some of the other bands that have been announced certainly are promising for how good this lineup. Airborne, then Alice in Chains, Slayer, Mastodon, Ghost, Gojira, Carnival. So that, you know, sort of second wave of bands is looking really quite strong for this festival. And I have to say, I mean, I haven't talked about Download too much, but I've been kind of disappointed by the Download lineup, honestly. I mean, you know, Linkin Park really headlining. You know, I don't know, it didn't strike me as a band to headline Download quite. I didn't think they were, well, I suppose they're still kind of big, but I didn't realise they still had that much relevance, I suppose. You know, and Avenged Sevenfold, it's not as much my type of stuff. Download this year. Of course, the Sunday's cool, having Alter Bridge and Aerosmith, that's always nice, but I don't know, the rest of the lineup and the waves that have been announced, just, yeah, it's some decent bands. I mean, Opeth were announced like yesterday or something, that's cool, but the rest of the bands, like Bowling for Soup, nah, not really. Now, let's get to the main feature of this episode, which is going to be Caravan. So quite a lot of things have happened in the Caravan world over the last couple of months. Some of them very sad, some of them really interesting and very positive. And yeah, I wish I was more up to date on this news. Some of it's kind of old, since like early December, but I still want to talk about it because I should have done at the time, but I had no idea. I just had no idea. So I recently found out that Richard Coughlan, the drummer for Caravan, passed away in early December. Apparently he'd been ill for some years. I had no idea about that at all. I knew he wasn't torn with the band, but I assumed he just like maybe retired, just quit, you know. So that's really sad, because he's such a talented drummer. I mean, Richard Coughlan, such a fantastic drummer. I mean, you listen to him on, I mean, he played on every Caravan album, he really did. He played on all 13 of their studio albums from the early 70s to 2003. We'll talk about another one in a sec, but yeah, and the drum work's just fantastic. I mean, you listen to it on a 5 Foot Underground, on Land of Grey and Pink, and especially on the more epic songs, and on For Richard as well, which wasn't for Richard Coughlan, by the way. I believe it's for Richard Sinclair, the keyboardist, I think? No, not keyboardist. Keyboardist? Yes, keyboardist at the time, thank God. mind blanking. But yeah, so very sad to hear that, of course. But on a more positive note, Caravan, they have released their 14th studio album, Paradise Filter, which I had no bloody clue about until, well, it's just come out. And I'm kind of sad I missed the Kickstarter for it, because I probably, well, it wasn't Kickstarter, it was on Pledge Music, I believe. But I mean, I would have bought a signed copy of a new Caravan album. It's only like 15 quid for it, and that's not too bad, honestly. You know, I missed out on that one. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem the album's available anywhere. It's certainly not on Amazon. I can't find it on their website. No one's even selling it on eBay, which is a shame, because I'd love to review a new Caravan album. That'd be so cool. I had no idea they were working on any studio projects, and I'd love to have reviewed that. So that's a real shame. I'm pretty disappointed about that. It doesn't know. I can understand bands doing these pledge things. I mean, Arthur Brown did, but I do think they should be sort of commercially released after it's been funded. You know, I'm sure Caravan and Arthur Brown could find distributors, because it just means, well, I can't get hold of these albums that I really want to listen to. Zim Zam Zum by Arthur Brown and Paradise Filter by Caravan. So that's quite a shame. And Caravan have also announced a tour. Some pretty small places on this tour. I mean, there doesn't seem anywhere particularly near me, unfortunately, because I'd love to see Caravan. One of my favourite Canterbury scene bands. Probably my favourite the Canterbury scene has to be Camel, of course. But Caravan, fantastic. Also quite like Egg. They were good Canterbury scene band. And never been a big fan on Robert Riot's stuff, or like Kevin Ayre, no. But yeah, so, you know, good things, bad things about Caravan, but it's a shame their album you can't get, and of course, such a shame Richard Coughlan died. So yeah, that's all I have to talk about for the last week too in Really Want News. Not a huge amount. Hopefully we'll get some more over the coming weeks. I mean, remember, it was about this time last year that we were talking about bloody Bowie's return, so nothing quite that exciting just to kick this year off. But there's some pretty cool albums we're going to be taking a look at, we're going to be doing some reviews for over the next week. So yeah, this has been TheAIbumMan. Thanks for watching, commenting, subscribing as usual. Long live rock and roll.